joined by her loving husband on stage, Mr. Emmanuel Ifejika, as they both danced together. The event also featured a documentary where the celebrants, Mrs. Uju Catherine Ifejika and her husband, Mr. Emmanuel Ifejika, spoke on their journey to becoming a couple. It also featured goodwill messages from children, family members, friends, and well-wishers of the celebrant. It was a night of less talk and plenty of merriment from start to finish, which the celebrant herself emphasized. It was music performances back to back as different artists took turns on stage. The sugar band and the DJ, on the other hand, were on standby to ensure the smooth flow of music all through the night. Trailblazing saxophonist Abolaji Banjoko, popularly known as BJ Sax, Tenny the Entertainer, Flavor, and the loud voice of Talinville all took turns to serenade the celebrant with very beautiful songs. The cake cutting exercise was next, after which the celebrant was joined by her family members and dignitaries present for a session of photographs. Tenny the Entertainer and Flavor crowned up the night with splendid performances of their hit songs, which officially declared the dance floor open.
The dancing time, ladies and gentlemen, are you ready now? Oh yeah, follow me, come and see my wifey, my beautiful baby, oh. See you looking so simple, original woman, she's an African lady, oh. And she too fine, check, I'm a little man, so maybe not go back to just you, no. And she too simple, she too humble, what I know, I'm a man, I don't know, you give a test, yo.
From Biscon Communications, it's 60 hearty cheers to Mrs. Catherine Uju Ifejika, OFR.
As the Biscon Latino Show, BOS, the globally acknowledged leading brand in the cutting-edge, inimitable production of groundbreaking events dating back many decades, prepares to celebrate its Silver Jubilee anniversary. It's time to blow our own trumpet resoundingly, stating the qualities that have continued to endear the BOS brand to all our fans across and beyond Nigeria. In the last 25 years, the Biscon Latino Show, BOS, which is the longest-running general interest magazine program on television in Nigeria, has covered and broadcasted events of social, economic, corporate, political, and entertainment values every week unfailingly. With iconic events dating back many decades captured for posterity, BOS honors those living and immortalizes the dead everlastingly. The Biscon Latino Show, BOS, proudly boasts of being one of the broadcast outfits with the richest library of archives of past events. The Biscon Latino Show's awesome archive of iconic events parade the coverage of convocations of universities, coronations of traditional rulers, inaugurations of state governors in Nigeria, the inaugurations of Nigerian presidents, and President Barack Obama of the United States of America. 2010 World Cup in South Africa, covered by the ubiquitous Biscon Latino Show, BOS. BOS was also at the inauguration of the Alake of Egbaland 16 years ago, Oba of Benin, 8 years ago, Oni of Ife, Ulu of Wari, and many more. As for the birthday, anniversary, and weddings of the high and mighty in the society, the BOS archives is replete with very exciting pan and beyond Nigerian super coverages. As for the festivals like Calabar Carnival, Ujude Oba Festival of the Ijebus, Lishabi Festival of the Egbas of Ogun State, and others, the Bisiola Tilo Show BOS simply is the toast of all. The corporate concerns, the banks, telecommunication companies, and other business concerns have made BOS their prime choice over the years. The newspapers, state governments would rather the almighty Bisiola Tilo Show give the coverage of their awards our inimitable packaging as exemplified by what we have in the awesome BOS archives. The Bisiola Tilo Show, BOS, is the preferred choice of state governments in the propagation and publicity of their programs to their different constituents in different states, because the Bisiola Tilo Show is the #1 program they've all been watching religiously in the last 25 years. In fact, the Bisiola Tilo Show, BOS, commissioned to provide a comprehensive nationwide campaign program for President Goodluck Jonathan, President Muhammadu Buhari, and President Bola Tinubu, which took the BOS team around the country campaigning for votes for the candidates at the time. The Bisiola Tilo Show, BOS, was also involved in rigorous campaign for Governor Duoye Diri of Bayelsa State, Senator Hope Uzodinma of Imo State, and Governor Gboyega Oyetola of Osun State. Incidentally, these were all clients of BOS from the two different political parties, APC and PDP. Also, in the very rich archives of BOS, with events that span over 25 years, is the one where BOS paid an everlasting honor to immortalize Nigeria's First Lady of all times, Mrs. Stella Obasanjo, who died 19 years ago. The Bisiola Tilo Show, BOS, the first and the best, still remains on the very top of our game.
Thank you for joining us again on the News Hour on Biscon Television. I'm Stella Opara. First, the headlines. On the national scene, President Tinubu launches expatriate employment levy to employ more Nigerians. SANS lists expectations as Supreme Court justices rise to 21. In business news, CBN begins sales of dollars to BDCs. On the foreign scene, NATO allies roll out sending troops to Ukraine as Russia rebukes President Macron. And in the weather sports, MPFL postpones Match Day 22 tie. Now the news in full. President Bola Tinubu has launched the Expatriate Employment Levy, EEL, a mandatory contribution imposed on organizations that employ expatriate workers in Nigeria. While launching the EEL at the Council Chamber Presidential Villa, Abuja, the President expressed confidence that the levy will improve revenue, indigenization, and balance employment in the country. He described the initiative as a game changer, urging the foreign companies operating in the country to employ more Nigerians, balance employment opportunities, and close the wage gap between the expatriates and the Nigerian labor force. The president declared his support for the program, assuring that he will continue to encourage the operators, practitioners of immigration matters, and expatriate quotas.
It is important to know that ELL is a contribution recently approved by the government, which will impose effective timeline on expatriate workers in this country. To be able to train and develop Nigerians. I've listened to Honorable Adam Oshiomhole, our distinguished senator, making very good and valid points on why Nigerians should be in the forefront of technology transfer and stem the brain drain associated with our current situation. We expect revenue generation improvement, improved naturalization and indigenization, employment of more Nigerians by foreign companies operating in this country, balancing of employment opportunity between Nigerians and expatriates, close wage gap between the expatriate and the Nigerian labor force by making it more attractive to hire Nigerians.
Now, President Bola Tinubu has explained that the decision taken to remove subsidy on petrol was a challenging one, but necessary to ensure a transparent and accountable energy sector. The president, who spoke at the opening of the 2024 Nigeria International Energy Summit (NIES) in Abuja, acknowledged that the decision has led to hardship, especially amongst low-income earners, assuring that eventually the economy will improve and the benefits will manifest. Represented by the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, Tinubu said energy security was a priority for his administration. He said the petroleum subsidy has, over the years, strained the nation's economic resources, leading to inefficiencies and, most importantly, hindering the ability to invest in critical areas of energy security. Acknowledging the hardship caused by the decision, President Tinubu further noted that his administration is committed to implementing social intervention programs to mitigate the short-term effects on vulnerable populations. Now, the opposition political parties in Nigeria, under the aegis of the Coalition of United Political Parties, have called for a national dialogue to seek appropriate solutions to the current economic hardship in Nigeria. Recall that Nigeria has been facing economic challenges in recent times, with many people finding it difficult to meet their basic needs due to the high cost of goods and services. This led the Nigeria Labour Congress to announce a 2-day protest to call attention to the hardship and hunger in the country. Reacting, a member of CUPP and national chairman of the African Democratic Congress, Ralph Nwosu, expressed concern over the economic hardship and urged President Tinubu to initiate a national dialogue. Nwosu, while meeting with other CUPP members in his office in Abuja, expressed concern about the state of the country under President Tinubu. In another development, the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Olukayode Ariwola, on Monday, swore in 11 new justices of the Supreme Court, bringing the number of justices on the Apex Court bench to 21. The development was hailed by senior advocates of Nigeria, who expressed the hope that it would translate to the clearing of the huge backlog of cases at the Supreme Court. The swearing-in of the 11 justices comes over 2 months after they were screened and confirmed by the Senate, acting on the recommendation of President Bola Tinubu. Before now, the number of justices on the Supreme Court bench went down to an all-time low of 10, as opposed to 21 recommended by the Constitution. Speaking with newsmen, a former Attorney General of Abia State, Chief Awa Kalu SAN, said with the Supreme Court now having its full complement of justices, it is expected of them to crack down on the backlog of cases, which is the expectation of everybody, and it is a legitimate expectation. Similarly, human rights lawyer Ebolu Adegorua SAN said the appointment of the 21 justices must be complemented with the provision of necessary equipment that would aid justice delivery at the apex court. We'll take a break now to bring you business news. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Biscon TV News. Now to business news. The Central Bank of Nigeria has announced its decision to sell foreign exchange worth $20,000 to each eligible bureau de change operators across the country. This is coming more than 2 years after the suspended former CBN Governor Godwin Emefiele stopped the sales of foreign exchange to BDC operators in that segment of the forex market. The Apex Bank disclosed this in a news circular issued and signed by the Director, Trade and Exchange Department, Hassan Mahmoud. The circular, titled Sale of Foreign Exchange to Bureau de Change Operators to Meet Retail Demand for Eligible Invisible Transactions, said the move, aimed at rectifying the persisting distortions in the retail segment of Nigeria's foreign exchange market and bridging the widening gap in the exchange rate. It said the allocation will be sold at a rate of 1,301 naira to a dollar, reflecting the lower bound rate of executed spot transactions at the Nigerian Autonomous Foreign Exchange Market as of the previous trading day, dated February 27, 2024. Monetary Policy Committee of the Central Bank of Nigeria has increased the benchmark interest rate by 400 basis points to a record 22.75%. The CBN Governor Olayemi Cardoso disclosed this while reading the communique of the first MPC meeting of the year on Tuesday in Abuja. Addressing journalists at the end of the two-day meeting in Abuja, Cardoso said the committee voted to adjust the asymmetric corridor around the MPR to plus 100 to minus 700, from plus 100 to minus 300 basis points, and raised the cash reserve ratio from 32.5% to 45%. At the last meeting in July 2023, the MPC, headed by the former acting governor of the Apex Bank, Falashodun Shonubi, increased the monetary policy rate by 25 basis points to 18.75% from 18.5% in May last year. The capital requirement ratio was retained at 32.5%, while the liquidity ratio stood at 30%.
The committee decided to further tighten monetary policy as follows. 1. Raise the MPR by 400 basis points to 22.75 from 18.75%. Adjust the asymmetric corridor around the MPR to plus 100 to minus 700 from plus 100 to minus 300 basis points. Raise the cash reserve ratio from 32.5% to 45%. Retain the liquidity ratio at 30%.
You're watching Biscon TV News. Up next is Politics News. Stay tuned. This is Biscon Politics.
The Edo State governorship candidate of the People's Democratic Party (PDP), Asue Igodalo, received a certificate of return from the leadership of the party today. Acting chairman of the PDP, Ambassador Umar Demagun, assisted by other party officials, presented the certificates to the candidate in Abuja. And now to the House of Representatives. 60 lawmakers in the Nigerian House of Representatives have set the stage for a potential shift from the presidential system to a parliamentary system of government. The proposed legislation, titled the Bills Proposing Constitutional Alterations for a Transition to Parliamentary System of Government, already received its first reading. Among the highlighted issues are the high cost of governance, which hampers essential sectors like infrastructure, education, and healthcare, and the concentration of excessive powers in the executive branch, leading to a lack of direct accountability to the people. In a joint effort transcending party affiliations and regional backgrounds, these lawmakers are positioning themselves at the forefront of history, advocating for a shift from the current presidential system to a parliamentary one at all levels, federal, state, and local government. The Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, Benjamin Kalu, said state-controlled prisons, police, and railways were some of the items highlighted by the National Assembly to be accommodated in the Constitution Amendment. The Deputy Speaker said the amendment will focus on the devolution of powers. He noted that the reform will unbundle some of the things from the exclusive list to the concurrent list. According to Kalu, the Constitution Amendment Committee will be looking into the issue of state police, which has dominated discussions in recent time as solution to the insecurity in Nigeria. And now to Ondo State, indication emerges that the People's Democratic Party (PDP) in Ondo State may settle for consensus arrangement in picking its governorship candidate for November election. Working on various calculations to ensure its candidate occupies the Alagbaka government house, leadership of the party are rallying governorship aspirants to form a common front. In realization of the dream to produce the next governor of Ondo State, the governorship aspirants of the party have met with some of the leaders led by former Governor Olusegun Mimiko and some former chairmen of the party in the state. That's all on Biscon Politics.
Welcome back. You're watching Biscon TV News. Now to foreign news. The United States and key European allies have said they had no plans to send ground troops to Ukraine after France hinted at the possibility, and the Kremlin warned that any such move would inevitably lead to conflict between Russia and NATO. French President Emmanuel Macron has said on Monday that Western allies should exclude no options in seeking to avert a Russian victory in Ukraine, though he stressed there was no consensus at this stage. His comments, made at a hastily convened meeting of European leaders in Paris on ways to boost flagging support for Kiev, came amid battlefield gains by Russian President Vladimir Putin's forces in eastern Ukraine, as well as growing shortages of ammunition and manpower on the Ukrainian side. However, Germany, Britain, Spain, Poland, and the Czech Republic distanced themselves from any suggestion that might commit ground troops to the Ukrainian war, now in its third year. The White House has also reiterated that it also had no plan to send ground troops, instead urging U.S. lawmakers to approve a stored security aid bill that would ensure Ukrainian troops got the weapons and ammunition needed to continue their fight. You're still watching Biscon TV News. Coming up next is sports news. Stay tuned. This is Biscon TV Sport News. The Nigeria Premier Football League (NPFL) have postponed the Matchday 22 fixtures involving Rivers United and Niger Tornadoes. Newsmail reports the encounter was initially scheduled to take place on Wednesday 28 March 2024,
at the Adokie Amiesimaka Stadium, Port Harcourt. It has now been moved to a later date to be decided by the MPFL. The MPFL announced that the postponement was stated due to Rivers United Car Federation Cup engagement. The Pride of Rivers will do battle with Dreams FC of Ghana in their final group this weekend. The game is billed for the Godswill Akpabio Stadium, Uyo, on Sunday, March 3rd, 2024. The Port Harcourt club need a win from the game to book their passage into the quarterfinals. In another development, the Super Falcons of Nigeria have advanced to the final round of qualifiers for the women's football event at the 2024 Olympics. Nigeria edged Cameroon 1-0 on aggregate in the third round of qualifiers for the quadrennial games. The Falcons were held to a goalless draw at the Stade de la Reunification, Douala, on Friday, but they put a vital goal past the Cameroonians at the Moshood Abiola Stadium on Monday. The first half goal from Esther Okoronkwo was the sole difference in a match on the knife edge. Okoronkwo was at the right place to tap home the ball from the near post after a brilliant slalom run into the box by Jennifer Echegini. Chamaka Nwadozie also made important saves for Nigeria as the Cameroonians poured forward, creating chances to level the game and upturn the encounter with an away goal. Super Falcons will face Tanzania or South Africa in the final round of qualifiers. Only 2 teams will represent Africa at the 2024 Olympics. The 2024 Olympics is built to take place in Paris, France, from July 26 to August 11, 2024. Now, West Ham have won a Premier League game against Brentford for the first time, having lost all 5 of their previous games in the competition against the Bees, scoring more goals than in the previous 5 matches combined. Jarrod Bowen scored first goal since December 23 to help West Ham to first win of 2024. Bowen scored a hat-trick as West Ham beat bogey side Brentford 4-2 to ease the pressure on David Moyes. The Hammers won their first match of the 2024 with Bowen scoring the first goal since before Christmas to end a miserable run on 8 games without a victory, which had prompted more questions about David Moyes. England will face Brazil at Wembley on March 23 before another international friendly at home to Belgium 3 days later as part of the final preparations for the Euro 2024 in the summer. Gareth Southgate will name his squad for those matches in the next fortnight. Bowen, who has 5 England caps to his name, has scored 14 goals this term, as many as Oli Watkins and Dominic Solanke. It represents his highest tally across a single campaign in the competition, overtaking 12 in 2021 to 2022. It was the 16th time in Bowen's senior career that he has reached 2 goals in a game, but the first time he has been able to convert it into a hat-trick. And that's it for Biscon Sport News.
Hello and welcome to Showbiz News. I am Olakpeju Ajidagba. Today we're taking a look at the Nigerian fashion industry and we're taking a look at some of the fashion icons in the Nigerian fashion industry. The Nigerian fashion industry has witnessed a remarkable rise in recent years, both in terms of growth and influence. As a country known for its vibrant culture and diverse heritage, Nigeria has become a hub for fashion enthusiasts and designers alike. With a thriving economy and a growing middle class, Nigerians are increasingly investing in fashion, thereby boosting the local industry. So today, let's take a look at the Nigerian fashion designers who've actually contributed and made significant industry progress. The first person I'll be talking about today is Diola Saga. Diola Saga is a renowned Nigerian fashion designer known for her innovative and unique designs. Diola Saga draws inspiration from her Nigerian heritage and traditional African fabric and prints. Diola Saga has showcased her collections at major fashion shows around the world, including New York Fashion Week and Paris Fashion Week. She's actually also received numerous awards and accolades, including the prestigious Designer of the Year award at the African fashion shows. Basically, Diola Saga's contribution to the Nigerian fashion industry have actually been quite immense. The next person we're taking a look at today is Lisa Folawiyo.
Lisa Afolawiyo, born in Nigeria, is a renowned fashion designer known for her eponymous brand. Throughout her career, Lisa Afolawiyo has showcased numerous outstanding collections that have actually received international acclaim. With a unique design, aesthetic, and innovative approach, Lisa Afolawiyo continues to make waves in the fashion industry and inspire aspiring Nigerian fashion designers. Next person we're taking a look at today is Zizi Kado. Zizi Kado, born Alero Zizi Kado, is a renowned Nigerian fashion designer who hails from Delta State. Her designs are greatly influenced by African culture and heritage, showcasing vibrant prints and bold patterns. Her success has paved way for many aspiring Nigerian fashion designers, inspiring them to embrace their cultural heritage in their designs. As Nigerian fashion continues to gain global recognition, Zizi Kado's influence and contributions will serve as an inspiration for future generations of designers. And that's all we have for you today on Showbiz News.
Welcome back, and that's it on Biscon Television News. Before we go, a recap of the major points. On the national scene, President Tinubu launches expatriate employment levy to employ more Nigerians. SANS lists expectations as Supreme Court justices rise to 21. In business news, CBN begins sales of dollars to BDCs. On the foreign scene, NATO allies roll out sending troops to Ukraine as Russia rebukes President Macron. And in the world of sports, MPFL postpones Matchday 22 tap. And that's the news on Biscon Television. Compiled and produced by Tomiloba Abalari. Now the last line. The difference in winning and losing is most often not quitting. I'm Stella Opara. Thank you for staying with us.
As the Biscon Latino Show, BOS, the globally acknowledged leading brand in the cutting-edge, inimitable production of groundbreaking events dating back many decades, prepares to celebrate its Silver Jubilee anniversary. It's time to blow our own trumpet resoundingly, stating the qualities that have continued to endear the BOS brand to all our fans across and beyond Nigeria. In the last 25 years, the Biscon Latino Show, BOS, which is the longest-running general interest magazine program on television in Nigeria, has covered and broadcasted events of social, economic, corporate, political, and entertainment values every week unfailingly. With iconic events dating back many decades captured for posterity, BOS honors those living and immortalizes the dead everlastingly. The Biscon Latino Show, BOS, proudly boasts of being one of the broadcast outfits with the richest library of archives of past events. The Biscon Latino Show's awesome archive of iconic events parade the coverage of convocations of universities, coronations of traditional rulers, inaugurations of state governors in Nigeria, the inaugurations of Nigerian presidents, and President Barack Obama of the United States of America. 2010 World Cup in South Africa, covered by the ubiquitous Biscon Latino Show, BOS. BOS was also at the inauguration of the Alake of Egbaland 16 years ago, Oba of Benin 8 years ago, Oni of Ife, Ulu of Warri, and many more. As for the birthday, anniversary, and weddings of the high and mighty in the society, the BOS archives is replete with very exciting pan and beyond Nigerian super coverages. As for the festivals like Calabar Carnival, Ujude Oba Festival of the Ijebus, Lishabi Festival of the Egbas of Ogun State, and others, the Biscon Latino Show BOS simply is the toast of all. The corporate concerns, the banks, telecommunication companies, and other business concerns have made BOS their prime choice over the years. The newspapers, state governments would rather the almighty Biscon Tv show give the coverage of their awards our inimitable packaging as exemplified by what we have in the awesome BOS archives. The Biscon Tv show, BOS, is the preferred choice of state governments in the propagation and publicity of their programs to their different constituents in different states, because the Biscon Tv show is the #1 program they've all been watching religiously in the last 25 years. In fact, the Biscon Tv show, BOS, commissioned to provide a comprehensive nationwide campaign program for President Goodluck Jonathan, President Muhammadu Buhari, and President Bola Tinubu, which took the BOS team around the country campaigning for votes for the candidates at the time. The Biscon Tv show, BOS, was also involved in rigorous campaign for Governor Duoye Diri of Bayelsa State, Senator Hope Uzodinma of Imo State, and Governor Gboyega Oyetola of Osun State. Incidentally, these were all clients of BOS from the two different political parties, APC and PDP. Also, in the very rich